सुनने को सिराज ज़ैदी का बहुत बहुत प्यार भरा आदाब नमस्कार and good afternoon. You're very welcome to the program Apna Radio, broadcasting at 93.9 Dublin South FM. Every Thursday here I am with you, and you shall be with me until next hour. I hope you would not go anywhere, because I ain't going to go anywhere either. I'm going to talk about it, few things. As usual, I start the program with a news item. The news is by Charmaine Colvin, and Charmaine is here with me in the studio to talk about the news item, which is quite, I will say a few words about the news. But before that, Charmaine, you take it away, the news as it comes along in your head.
Good afternoon. Here is the latest news update on Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM. Last Tuesday, a court in southeastern Bangladesh rescheduled a bail hearing for jailed prominent Hindu leader Krishna Das Prabhu. Prabhu, who led large rallies in the Muslim-majority country demanding better security for minority groups, was arrested in Bangladesh's capital Dhaka last week. He faces charges of sedition after he led huge rallies in the southeastern city of Chattogram. Hindu groups say there have been thousands of attacks against Hindus since early August, when the secular government of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was overthrown. Prabhu's arrest comes as tensions spiked following reports of the desecration of the Indian flag across Bangladesh, with some burning it and others laying it on the floor for people to step on. Earlier this week, dozens of protesters forced their way into the consulate building of Bangladesh in the Indian city of Agartala and vandalised it. The Indian government, however, has distanced itself from the attack, calling it deeply regrettable. Hindus constitute less than 10% of Bangladesh's 170 million population. Leaders of the community have long spoken of discrimination and hate attacks against them by Islamists and political parties. 2 years after the Supreme Court granted bail and ordered the immediate release of Mohammed Zubair from prison, the leading Indian fact-checker and journalist is back in court facing new charges. This week, police in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh sought his arrest, accusing him of endangering sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. A new legal code added recently, which legal experts say grant the police the power of arrest. The charge is non-bailable, and a conviction could mean a minimum of 7 years in jail and fine or even life imprisonment. Zubair is the co-founder of the website Alt News and denies all the accusations against him. He is wanted in connection with a post he put out on X, spotlighting hate speech by controversial Hindu priest Yati Narsingh Anand, which offended many Muslims. The comments against Prophet Muhammad have been made a number of times before, openly calling for violence against Muslims. The 60-year-old head priest at the powerful Dasna Devi temple in Uttar Pradesh was previously arrested in 2022 for making Islamophobic and misogynistic comments and spent a month in jail. A day after Zubair's post pointing out the offensive comments, 10 Muslims were arrested during a protest outside the temple, resulting in an official complaint by Uditya Tyagi, a member of the BJP and a close friend of the priest. In his defence, Zubair says he was not the only one who had posted Narsingh Anand's remarks, and that a number of journalists, politicians and media channels have tweeted the video before. Amnesty International India has said it is an example of how the law is being used to harass, intimidate and persecute human rights defenders, such as journalists, for peacefully exercising their right to freedom of expression. India has been consistently sliding on the global press freedom rankings. It is now placed at 159 out of 180 countries, according to media watchdog Reporters Without Borders. Novo Nordisk, NVO Financial, the Danish pharmaceutical giant, is accelerating efforts to launch its weight loss drug, Wegovy, in India. The company's local team has urged executives to introduce the drug by 2025, aligning with Eli Lilly's anticipated launch of its weight loss drug, Mounjaro. Initially, Novo Nordisk planned to introduce Wegovy in India by 2026, pending regulatory approval and sufficient supply. Wegovy shares its active ingredient, semaglutide, with Novo Nordisk's diabetes drug Ozempic. Similarly, Eli Lilly's weight loss drug Zepbound and diabetes medication Mounjaro contains tirzepatide. All these drugs are GLP-1 receptor agonists, which aid weight loss by suppressing appetite and slowing gastric emptying. India, with a population exceeding 1.4 billion and rising obesity rates, represents a significant market. However, Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly face competition from Indian generic drug manufacturers like Cipla and Dr. Reddy's, who are developing generic versions of Wegovy. An Indian taxi aggregator service has apologised after a customer said she was robbed at gunpoint by one of its drivers near the capital, Delhi. The 30-year-old woman said she was travelling in a blue smart taxi with her 6-year-old son on Saturday when the driver pulled out a gun. In her police complaint, she said he forced her to transfer 55,000 rupees to him through an app before forcing her out of the car. The driver has since been arrested. Blue Smart is a popular ride-sharing app with a fleet of 100% electric vehicles. The service has many loyal customers who say they prefer the newer and cleaner taxis. Blue Smart said it was deeply disturbed by the incident and that its exhaustive documentation process and swift action from its quick response team had ensured the driver was caught within 24 hours of the incident. It said it was taking steps to strengthen its safety protocols and providing additional training to drivers. Police in India say they have reached out for information to Elon Musk's Starlink after they allegedly found drug smugglers using its satellite internet device to navigate Indian waters and reach the country's shore. Starlink claims to provide super-fast broadband almost anywhere on Earth, but it does not yet have permission to provide coverage in India or India's territorial waters. Last week, the Indian Coast Guard said they found the device on a Myanmar boat they seized near the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This was the biggest such drug bust by the Coast Guard, according to authorities, with reportedly 6,000 kilograms of methamphetamine seized from the boat, with an estimated value of £3.35 billion. And finally, a cap worn by Australian cricket legend Don Bradman has sold for £245,000 at an auction in Sydney. Bradman wore the cap, known as baggy green, in the 1947-8 home test series against India, during which he scored his 100th first-class century. Auction house Bonhams described the cap as sun-faded and worn with some insect damage. So that's all from me. Tune in next week to Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM for more news updates across the globe.
Thank you very much indeed, Charmaine. And what a wonderful news item you put together, because it's a huge concern at the moment of a rising problem in Bangladesh. Ever since the Bangladesh government has been toppled and Sheikh Hasina has been abdicated back in India. She's seeking asylum in the UK, but she's not getting anywhere. And indeed, there's something to do with the neighbouring country, both India and Pakistan, about that, and the targeting of the so-called Hindu minority, which has never been the case ever since the Bangladesh has been peacefully existing with all the minorities, Sikhs, Hindus, and all, which of course the majorities are the Bangladeshi Muslims. And that was the whole purpose of creating. Anyway, this is something was disturbing because the whole reason for, cajoling is the word of Bangladesh by the neighboring India was that we could actually, this Citizenship Amendment Act and all that has been introduced, that the minorities are being persecuted in Pakistan and Bangladesh, and therefore they can actually come to India with impunity and stay and can claim the nationality of India and all that. So it is all sort of like, brooding and brewing, I would say, and creating a tension among the communal tension that has never been there. So I would say that this is something disturbing and need to be monitored by the international watchdog, because we cannot trust the local people and all that. The other important item that Charmaine talked about it is obviously the criminal element. Well, these blue caps people, robbery, daylight robbery with passengers. And I mean, where in the world you will find this kind of mentality and this kind of operation, that who are these blue cap people who are employing the drivers like that, who on gunpoint robbing the actual customers and transferring the money on apps and things like that. This is unacceptable in the international world. But there you go. India is nowhere near to the level of the standard of India, of the world. Similarly, as she has mentioned, that India has been gliding down at the international media coverage, 159th number out of 180 numbers of the countries where the standards have been lowered and compromised, and outrightly so-called Godi media is taken over from the genuine media. And of course, this disturbing news of youngsters who are protesting on Twitter, which is the X now, and also social media and Facebook and all that, and they're using it against the atrocities that's been blatantly getting committed against the Muslims of Uttar Pradesh ever since the rise of extreme government in power in Uttar Pradesh, led by Yogi Adityanath. These priests of temples are openly asking for the killing of Muslims, arresting of Muslims, and worse is the government has actually the state government is employing the RSS people as a policeman. They're disguised in policemen, and they're shooting with impunity, as you have seen it in Sambal. We have covered that at great length last week, and nobody is questioning them. And somebody, if protesting outside the temple, they will pick it up and they'll throw him in a jail forever and all that. So this is a disturbing. Again, Amnesty International has to move in. The international standard has to come in order to make this absolutely clear to the government of India and also to the state government of India as well, that this is not acceptable. This is, what can I say? This is the nature of the beast. As we move towards the democracy, so-called democracy. And I'll talk about today what is democracy and why democracy is no longer. In fact, Gandhi has been asked this question, what do you think, Mr. Gandhi, of democracy? And he said, he took a pause and he said, it's a good idea. And that's it. And so therefore, is it working? Is it working? How is it working? We have covered huge coverage last week about how the current so-called democratic government came into power by intimidating voters and all the rest of it. But Sharad Awasthi has also put together another interesting item, which is about Adani Group. Adani, as you know, is considered to be one of the biggest Mr. Modi's lackey businessman who is controlling rest of the world. In India, in fact, he bought an NDTV channel, he bought the media, he's owner of everything in India that exists. But anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy this particular clip by Sharad Awasthi. So here we go.
Good afternoon. Great to be here again. Today I am talking about yet another issue that will have long-term and widespread consequences in India. I'm talking about the ADANI bribery scandal that has disturbed the Indian business environment with its indictment from the US Department of Justice, DOJ, and Securities and Exchange Commission. At the center of this controversy lies Solar Energy Corporation of India, whose silence raises troubling questions about its role in facilitating inflated solar power prices and bribery scheme. So the bribery charges are related to the world's largest solar project being developed in India. But the American Department of Justice indictment states that there was an elaborate scheme to bribe Indian government officials to secure contracts. The motive would be that Adani Green, the company of Adani, was to obtain billions of dollars worth of business in India. Now, these revelations came to light as Adani Green, the group company, sought to raise capital from US and international investors But then, why is United States bothered about the bribery scheme involving the Adani Group in India and the Indian government officials? Two reasons. One, the US financial markets are very strict about bribery and financial malpractices, solely driven by their commitment to protecting investors and ensuring market integrity. This is a fundamental strength of the American market, or for that matter, any market in Europe or Japan or Singapore, which makes it a top destination for global investments. And India must learn from this attitude. The second reason being that there lies money trail and the alleged defaults by the Adanis. Therefore, according to Department of Justice, when things were not going well with Adani Green in India, they allegedly bribed Indian government officials to secure power purchase agreements in at least 5 states in India. To do that, suspiciously, Adani Green raised funds from US investors but misled them, claiming that their investments were directed towards legitimate projects in India. Therefore, the Adani Group executives are accused of paying bribes amounting to $260 million, so that is approximately 200 crore Indian rupees, and that is to secure these power purchase agreements from state governments in India. So, which are the states in India? It has been revealed that Adani Green bribed officials in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Jammu Kashmir, surprisingly. So what it does is, it actually implicates major political parties in these states, and that's including Mr. Modi's BJP in Jammu and Kashmir because there was governor rule, DMK in Tamil Nadu, Biju Janata Dal, that's Biju Patnaik in Odisha, also along with YSR Reddy, YSR Congress in Andhra Pradesh, and importantly, Rahul Gandhi's Congress in Chhattisgarh. According to the indictment, while bribes were being paid in India, during this period, the Adanis were also raising $500 million to $600 million in the US market. Therefore, in a sort of lengthy 54-page indictment, the FBI in March of 2023 searched nephew of Gautam Adani, that is Sagar Adani's electronic devices and laptops, and found evidences of direct involvement by Gautam Adani, Sagar Adani, Vineet Jain and other executives of Adani Green and other group companies. So the American Department of Justice allegations fall under 4 categories if you see. 1, there is a violation of American Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, that is similar to our Indian anti-corruption laws. The other one is securities fraud conspiracy for green energy investments. The third is wire fraud, and that involves illegal transfer of money using electronic devices. And the fourth one is obstruction of justice. Now, interestingly, at what stage it becomes money laundering, this would be very important one. We will see when it comes. On the other hand, Adani's being defendants, they have few options. Either they can challenge in the New York court, but then it is going to be a very long and high profile legal battle. The entire press and media will be full, and it is going to hurt Adani business and his political connections by exposing it all. Therefore, this is going to be the least likely option for them. Or they can negotiate a settlement by paying heavy fines, which may keep the details confidential. And it is something like out-of-court settlement involving diplomacy and backdoor deals of India and USA, considering the kind of power and the kind of friendship Mr. Adani has in the government and with Mr. Modi. According to me, this is most likely one, but certainly because of the deals that are going to happen, it is going to hurt India most. I'll come to that later. There is going to be a civil conviction where the Adanis can pay a fine without criminal penalties. This would be easy, but still Adanis would stand exposed to judiciary and media. And last, not least, this is going to be a major one where the executives, including Mr. Adani, Gautam Adani, will face criminal conviction, and this could result, if at all they contest, this could result in imprisonment from 5 to 20 years in United States. And this is the most feared option or situation for the Adanis and the Adani group of companies. But back home, what will be the impact on India? As I said in the beginning, the controversy is expected to be long-term and far-reaching. Adani's reportedly lied to Securities and Exchange Board of India, that's SEBI, and had denied the US investigation and had been downplaying the FBI's findings. Also, it is suspected that this vital information of FBI investigation was not disclosed to SEBI, and it is required by the regulations. In fact, in March of 2023, last year, that's like some 18 months ago, Bloomberg published an article about the FBI's investigation into Adani. This was reprinted in India by the Economic Times, so there was no way this news would have been overlooked. Surprisingly, so SEBI, the Enforcement Directorate, the dreaded ED, and of course the CBI, they failed to act on the allegations of this financial misconduct. But not to be shocked, the Adani Group has a history of controversies, including financial dealings in Australia, the Hindenburg Report allegations, the issues like stock manipulation, accounting irregularities, political corruption, tax evasion, environmental damages in Australia, and lawsuits against journalists. So the Adanis are not new to controversies, but this one is of a different magnitude. In future, if the legal battle continues, the Adani Group may face difficulties in raising funds in US and the European market. And of course, the Adanis themselves may avoid traveling to US or its allied countries for fear of arrest and extradition. There is going to be political impact in India also. Once the trials begin, the name of the implicated government officials will also surface, and that will certainly link them to prominent politicians in India. This will trigger political earthquake, instability in India. As we have discussed, major parties are involved, seemingly involved. As it is, there is finger pointing with opposition wanting to discuss Adani case in parliament in the current session of winter parliament, and government is blocking that attempt. Also, you could hear some whispers about American attempt to destabilize India. So nationalism is also being pushed into this. However, there are some serious financial fallouts if Adani goes on trial. Like our Life Insurance Corporation of India, LIC. They have 61,000 crore stake in Adani companies as of March 2024, this year. That will be a severe risk. LIC has already lost 9,000 crores about in November following this particular news coming out from Department of Justice. Overall, if you see, Adani Group has a debt of 8 lakh crore Indian rupees, and much of it comes from the Indian banks, and that is going to endanger the banking system of India. Look at another perspective. The Adani Group controls critical infrastructures like airports for next 50 years, ports, power, cement manufacturing, media, defense manufacturing, energy, aerospace, and many more. So its failure at any point in time could lead to severe security and operational lapses in India. So Adani cannot fail. Like I said, I will discuss this point. So there is going to be a geopolitical angle also. The US may use this scandal as a bargaining chip with India. Now they are going to hold India, and particularly with Mr. Modi, to influence India's stance on global issues like Russia and Ukraine, where India is standing on the side of Putin, who is US enemy, or trade agreements that favor American businesses over Indian businesses. So India is going to lose there. If you look at the big picture, there is a systemic failure in India. India failed because SEBI failed to investigate the allegations or make disclosures public about Adani's investigation in the US. India failed because the ED and CBI did not act on the findings of foreign agencies like the FBI until now. Why? They are quiet, everybody knows. India failed because the judiciary did not take suo motu action despite the gravity of the charges, which were well published and documented some 18 months ago in March of 2023. So the judiciary was quiet. And India failed because all major parties across states appear complicit in the scandal, namely Mr. Modi's BJP in Jammu Kashmir, Biju Janata Dal, YSR Congress, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi's Congress in Chhattisgarh. So here's my take. India's over-reliance on conglomerates like Adani and Ambani has exposed vulnerabilities in government, economics, and national security. This scandal highlights the dangers of corporate influence, unchecked political corporate influence, I would say, and systemic failures to regulate and enforce accountability. While Gautam Adani denies any wrongdoing, the allegations have tarnished India's image as a secure investment destination. The people of India are likely to bear the brunt of this controversy either through higher cost of electricity or failing strategic infrastructures like the airports. If India's model of growth and development is based on political connections like these and bribery, international level of market manipulation, India risks losing credibility on the global stage. While Adani is too big to fail as we see it, the weakness of India's economics, politics, security, and diplomacy lay vulnerable. Is this the new India? Just think over. Thank you for your attention and see you next week again. Bye for now.
Dublin South FM.
You wouldn't buy a car without knowing its history. So why would you buy a story without knowing who's telling it? Come here and I tell you. It's not always easy to verify what you see, read, or hear. But now, there's help. Visit www.bemediasmart.ie. Stop, think, check. Be Media Smart. Brought to you by Media Literacy Ireland, supported by RTE.
93.9 Dublin South FM.
Indeed, welcome back to the program, and that is 93.9 Dublin South FM. The big question, as Sharad has popped in the last of his phrase, is this a new India? Is this a image of India worldwide? Adani Group being caught red-handed, bribing officials in the US and all that. And indeed, a fear of extraditing, avoiding traveling to the US and UK and Europe. And of course, the foreign direct investment, FDI, has been plumbing down in India. And you can see that. I'm just back from India, and I can see that the constructions are going everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. And but the conditions of the roads and the conditions of the infrastructure is in tatter, is to say the least. So it is a big question. Corruption. When the corruption will be sucked out from the system and from businesses, only God knows when. But that is a very, very disturbing news that Sharad has actually did a very good research on Adani Group, which has been, Mahbub Moitra has been targeting and has been shouting at the top of her voice in the parliament about Adani Group's buying NDTV, controlling media, controlling everything, and then, being given a carte blanche is the term for doing business for anything and everything. So rest of the world doesn't matter as long as the Adani Group, which is a right hand of Mr. Modi as well. So sad story. It's so sad to see that India is going that route and going that way, which is not improving any infrastructure or improving the growth of the economy and the growth of GDP either. Used to be an 8%. Now nobody's talking about 8% at all. But that is what it's going to be like. So this is something which is very, very strange. And what can I say? I mean, this is the state of affair is, and keep an eye and ear open for anything what you hear or see. Be media smart, as our ad says that, and be careful of where you dabble into it, what sort of financial commitment you make in India, whether it's buying property or, I get calls from all sorts of people, such and such property has been on sale, such and such is booming and all the rest of it. All complete BS, I would say, nonsense, because money can be sinked down the drain there if you invest in anything. Right, now time for a song and a track, and linked with the trail that we have blazed a few weeks ago by Imrana Khanum. Imrana has done a delectable job this week as well. And she has put together a few personalities who have been celebrating this week their birthday. And 3rd of December, a couple of days ago, it was Konkona Sen Sharma, a delectable lady and a wonderful Bengali actress. She's an Indian actress. She is the daughter of the filmmaker Apna Sen. Konkona Sen Sharma appears primarily in Indian art house films, independent films, and her achievements in the genre have established her as a good leading lady, as one of the actresses, leading lady of contemporary parallel cinema. Like, you remember Smita Patil? She's sort of like filling in her shoes, and Shabana Azmi. In those days, there's the one. Konkona Sen Sharma is the one. She unfortunately was married to this wonderful actor, Ranveer Shori, but they split up, and they were quite explosive couple, in fact, I've been told, and they couldn't have any survival. Wonderful actress, but perhaps failure in her marriage and personal life. How do I say failure? I mean, why would I say that? Maybe she's happy. Maybe she's sort of getting on in life better on single. This whole idea of for women and for men, the life can only be successful if you are married is nonsense. BS. Anyway, making her debut as a child artist in the film industry, in the film called Indra in 1983, Konkona debuted as an adult in Bengali thriller Ek Ji Acha, Ek Je Ache. Oh, Kanya, Ek Je Achi Kanya, whatever it is, in 2000, and she was gained attention with the English language film Mr. and Mrs. Iyer, which I've released here in the IFI. I screened that with Irfan Khan. She played a lovely 2002, a beautiful story, which was directed by a mother herself and received, Konkona Sen was launched, in fact, at that time. Aparna Sen launched her. And that's another thing I've noticed in Bollywood. The parents who are directors and producers, launching their daughters and sons in the business, in the career. Recently, I've witnessed the same thing with the director Anil Sharma, who's launched his son, Utkarsh Sharma, in the film called Vanvas, which I might actually show it at the 16th Indian Film Festival of Ireland. And Utkarsh has been launched by, his father. And so therefore, this is another thing that parents do launch it in the hope that other people would notice and then started casting their children in the film, and their career will flourish and they'll take off from there. But hardly it happens. Sometimes they get launched and then get kaput. Nothing happens afterwards. But this Mr. and Mrs. Iyer was directed by Aparna Sen herself, but that received a National Film Award for Best Actress for her performance in the film. And hence the rest of this is the history, as they say, because she's been then taken care of by the other filmmakers. And she then become a known person and surviving in the industry, as I said, very well. So this is the song that I'm going to play about Konkona film. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this particular song.
चलो खाना ठंडा हो रहा है, come on.
और मन में तू तो बावरा है, तू ही जाने तू क्या सोचता है, तू ही जाने तू क्या सोचता है बावरे, क्यों दिखाए सपने तू सोते जागते, जो बरसे सपने बूंद बूंद नैनों को मूंद मूंद, जो बरसे सपने बूंद बूंद नैनों को मूंद मूंद, कैसे मैं चलूं देख ना सकूं अनजाने रास्ते, जैसा है कोई एक तारा तू जैसा है कोई एक तारा, तू जैसा है कोई एक तारा तू जैसा है कोई एक तारा, नींद बोले कोई के कोई मैं कहानी पूरी कहानी है क्या किसे है पता मैं तो किसी की होके ये भी न जानी रुत है ये दो पल की याद रहेगी सदा
किसे है
जो बरसे सपने बूंद बूंद नैनों को मूंद मूंद जो बरसे सपने बूंद बूंद नैनों को मूंद मूंद कैसे मैं चलूं देख ना सकूं अनजाने रास्ते
And that was Konkonasin film. Wonderful film and a wonderful actress she was. The next person that I'm going to talk about is a wonderful actor in the industry called Boman Irani Sahab. Boman Irani and myself have discussed over the WhatsApp few messages and exchanged messages on the hope that he might visit us here in Dublin as a guest for the future film Festival of Ireland, Indian Film Festival of Ireland. His date of birth is disputed, but it's the 2nd of December has been talked about it. And he's an Indian film actor and a theatre actor and a photographer. Boman was born into a Parsi family on the 1st of October 1962. Now, sources dispute this date of 2nd of October, but Boman is an interview said that he was born at 8:45 p.m. on the 1st of October. And the one why we're talking about on the 2nd of December, I don't know. There's another version of that story. So he's a graduate of Mithibai. Mithibai College is a very famous Mumbai college. After his typical Mumbai guy, Parsis are settled in Mumbai and all that. After his graduation, he pursued his career initially with a Life Insurance Corporation of India, LIC, from 1982 to 1985. At the same time, he also established an Uncle Chips franchise in Dadar area, which ran until 1986 before shutting it down, owning to losses. So he wasn't proved to be a good businessman. And Boman moved into photography in 1987 and persisted with it until 1989. He's a professional photographer, and of course, with Munna Bhai MBBS, he got the break in the film industry as an actor, and he proved himself to be a wonderful actor, should I say. And that is something that is interesting to know about Boman Irani. And Boman and myself actually been talking about it because he's been to Norway to another film festival that my friend runs it, Nasrullah Qureshi there. So, but Boman is something which I would love to talk to. He's a genius. He's also developing a script writing talent, and his son is also want to go into the film industry. So it's a kind of a guy who would be, he's known, he's a celebrity, he goes to IFA, he goes to, to festivals and things like that. And he replied to my WhatsApp the other day, but ever since we lost contact for some reason. But sit back, relax, and enjoy this particular track of his film.
हो पैसे की हो बात तो कड़के बड़े बड़े बन जाते पर ठन ठन गोपालों के भी होंगे स्विट्जरलैंड में खाते चोर चोर के कर पीटे हाँ जिसे मिले जी पाके पर चोरी का मिले मौका तो हद मारे वही दबा के कि मैं झूठ बोले कोई ना दे कि मैं कुफर बोले कोई ना दे कि मैं जहर खोले कोई ना कि मैं झूठ बोले कोई ना दे कि मैं कुफर बोले कोई ना दे कि मैं जहर खोले कोई ना बिजली ना पानी है शीला की जवानी है नगरी अंधेरी चौपट राजा नेताजी जोर है तंदूरी मुर्गा खा के डेमोक्रेसी का बस्ता देखो बाजा इंडिया शाइनिंग मोहब्बत लाए हर चुनाव में आके और भोली भाली जनता गाती अब रोमांस की बात करें सब दिलों जान उठा के काम है तो सब ठीक है नहीं तो चिंग में थूक दबा के मैं झूठ बोले कोई ना देखी मैं कुफर तोले कोई ना देखी मैं जहर कोले कि मैं झूठ बोले कोई ना देखी मैं कुफर तोले कोई ना देखी मैं जहर कोले कोई मैं ओ हट के राजी जरा बच के.
That is also a wonderful song about, a comedy kind of thing, contemporary song about the film industry and everything. So I think it's a film about Boman Irani. Some film, he's doing a lot of comedy work and he's very good at comedy, but he's also known for his serious work. He's done quite a lot of films. The thing about the film industry is that it's a bherchal. Bherchal is a word that anything and everything works. So once your name is in the public domain, and some of your films get worked up, and it works and goes out and release and all the rest of it, and then the producers start running after you. I've experienced that myself because a lot of producers recently approached me that Mr. Zaidi, why don't you come back to India to work in the film industry? You have got everything going for you. You've got talent, you've got good looks, you've got qualification, you've got experience of working in the European film industry, Hollywood film industry and all that, which is a very huge scope and a big scoop in India. If you worked abroad, they think that you are a wonderful actor, which I am in a sense that, here I am. But experienced is something, because I was conducting a workshop actually while I was doing this second Irish Indian Film Festival of India, second Irish Film Festival of India at the Noida studio, and they've asked me to conduct an acting workshop. So that workshop is sometime actually I must broadcast one of my interviews, which has been taking place recently over there as well. So when I was conducting a workshop, I realized that there's a lot of things that I have to offer to the young up-and-coming actors who are looking for work in the industry, because their knowledge and their understanding of performing arts, particularly acting, is zero. They're not approaching so-called the standard which is required, standard which is set by people like Nasiruddin Shah, people like wonderful actors like what's a brilliant actor who was in Gulal, who was recently another. I've seen it in television. Underrated actor, but was wonderful. Anyway, another film that he did with my friend Ankur murder case. Beautiful actor. It'll come to my mind in a minute. So they are beautiful, and of course, how can I? Tripathi, Pankaj Tripathi. All of these actors, up-and-coming actors, are the good, setting up the good standard of acting. I'm not talking about Mr. Bachchan, who's there forever at the echelon of his own category and his own league, should I say. His son has proving to be a good actor, and a recent film by Sujit Sarkar is proving to be I Want to Talk is the title of that film. Is something that he's done very well. He played a sick man, somebody who's suffering from cancer, who's going to die, and he recovered from that and all that. Beautiful film. So he's also a good actor and coming into the standard of acting. But overall, if you look at it, the standard is going downhill. And the new generation, which is coming up, hoping to be good actors, cannot become a good actor if they are not being coached, trained, and cajoled from inside to become a good actor. Somebody has said that, don't go into an acting unless you are capable of surviving the downside of this profession, and unless you are gung-ho about it so badly that you cannot live by not doing acting. So, but then again, you have Boman Irani and all these guys who've been selling insurance with LIC, selling chips, being a waitress. I heard that he was also a waiter at the Mumbai, Taj Hotel and all that. And then he makes his entry into Lage Raho Munna Bhai and become a delectable actor. So there are no rules, and there are no set thing. It's the luck by chance, it's script by chance, as I call it, and part by chance, character by chance. And if you remember years and years ago, there was a movie called Shatranj Ke Khiladi, the Shatranj player, and with Sanjeev Kumar, there was an actor called Saeed Jaffrey, who became a very, very good actor because he was trained, he was qualified, he was experienced in London, and he got a chance to act in Indian film. And ever since, he never turned back. He never looked back, should I say. But anyway, these are the thoughts. I'm going to talk about another person called Approve. I'm not approving her or him. It's a confusion whether it's male gender or female gender. Apurva Agnihotri. Apurva Agnihotri is an Indian actor. I think she is. The Apurva is a girl's name. Known for the role hit like Jaisi Jaisi Koi Nahi. Apurva debut in the film Pardes, co-starring with Shah Rukh Khan and directed by Subhash Khais. Of course, she is an actress. And the film was highly successful and generated Agnihotri a nomination for Best Supporting Actor in 1997 in Zee Cine Awards. So here's a song in Apurva's films, which I would like to play. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this particular track.
तुम्हारे हैं कुछ हमारे हैं हम दोनों के सपने कितने प्यारे हैं
कुछ तुम्हारे हैं कुछ हमारे हैं कुछ तुम्हारे हैं कुछ हमारे हैं हम दोनों के सपने कितने प्यारे हैं
कुछ तुम्हारे हैं कुछ हमारे हैं हमारे हैं देखो जरा ऐसे झूम के क्यों डोलती है बहार यूं है कि आज इस तरंग में शामिल है अपनों का प्यार कुछ हमारे हैं हम दोनों के सपने कितने
प्यारे. That was a beautiful song. कुछ तुम्हारे हैं, कुछ हमारे हैं, हम दोनों के सपने कितने प्यारे हैं. Next person that is going to be a delectable young actress from south of India. I'm going to talk about it. And her birthday is today on the 5th of December. The delectable, beautiful, young, talented actress called Parvati Venugopala Nair. Paro Nair, as I call her, because Paro is a close friend of mine. And she's been here in Ireland, in fact, attended a film festival with her film called a few years ago in 2019. Paro was the guest of my film festival, a film called Nirali, which she acted with Mohanlal. Born in December, 5th of December 1992. She's a model and an actress who works mainly in South Indian film industry. Born into a Malayalam family in Abu Dhabi. Some people said Dubai, but Abu Dhabi probably wrong. In fact, I know she told me that she was born in Dubai. And she trained as a software professional from Manipur Institute of Technology. She started the modeling at the age of 15 and made her acting debut with the Malayalam film Poppins as a lead in the 5th segments directed by V.K. Prakash during her Christmas vacations in December 2012. Before appearing in a number of critically acclaimed films across all four South Indian film industries, that is Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, and all those languages, including the story Kathe, 2014, Yenai Arindal, 2015, and her performance as a young journalist in a story Kathe won the best Kannada film. Kannada is another language she does. Kannada Debut Actress Award at the South Indian International Movie Award. And while the role of a vengeful wife for Yenai Arindal won her praise from critics and received a Filmfare nomination for her. In 2015, she starred in a critical commercial success film, Vasco da Gama, portraying an English lecturer. Now, Paro and myself met when she came. In fact, I contacted her with the view that she might play a lead actor in my upcoming film, Savita, which you probably must have noticed. It was on RTE recently, a documentary of Savita Hallapannawar, a Karnataka film, a Karnataka actress, not an actress, the dentist who died in Ireland in 2012. So yours truly is trying to make a drama based on that story. And I casted Parvati Nair as the lead actress to play Savita Hallapannawar. So that's how we met, and that's how I traced her on the social media. And then I invited her. She said, "Oh, well, have a look at my film called Nirali," which I saw. And Mohanlal, of course, Mohanlal is a huge star in South Indian film industry. So lo and behold, she came here. And what a delectable personality, very pleasant lady, very pleasant person, demure, not demure, but very clever girl. And most of the acting is all about mental. You have to be clever to be a good actor. Thick people cannot survive in this industry. And Parvati Nair, lovingly known as Paru by her mom, Venugopal, who became my friend as well via on social media and Facebook and things like that, and her dad in Dubai, who's still in Dubai. She has got one brother, but delectably she is celebrating her birthday on the 5th of December. So what can I say? I mean, I have actually gestured some presentations from Ireland to her, and hopefully she's away at the moment. She's not in Bangalore. She works out of Chennai and Bangalore both, but she's not in Chennai at the moment, shooting or maybe traveling or whatever, celebrating her birthday in Dubai. But she'll be back on the 9th of December to have a surprise waiting for her in her apartment, and a new apartment in Chennai. Anyway, so that's you go. Happy birthday, Paru. and hopefully you enjoy your birthday and you enjoy the last few days of your work and your everything. And this is the song for you and from your film. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this particular song, Paru. I'll be talking to you. I'll call you sometime soon. But in the meantime, bye for now. Time is up for me to say goodbye. And thank you very much for listening to the program.
दो दिन भी नहीं हुए तुमको गए हुए दर्द बेहिसाब होने लगा दो दिन भी नहीं हुए तुमको गए हुए दर्द बेहिसाब होने लगा आंखें तो